If you are trying to turn your creative hobby into a real business, there are two money habits that will completely change how fast that you grow. And they're very simple. It's tracking your spending and paying yourself first. Once I started doing both of these things, I stopped feeling broke and started seeing actual progress. Nowadays, most creators focus on showing off their skills and buying gear and showing like what kind of gear that they're getting, doing unboxing videos, stuff like that, which is all fantastic. But what I see most creators not doing is sharing with you how they manage their finances to be able to do what it is that they do. This video is not going to be about anything super complicated regarding finances. It's just going to be talking about the two easy ways that I have gone from feeling broke all the time and living paycheck to paycheck to being able to invest as much money as I want to into my business without feeling the downward pressure of making money from it. The first habit that we're going to talk about is tracking your spending. Now, this is a very fundamental thing that anybody can do, and it's also very simple to do it. When I started out doing this process, I would simply do it on a spreadsheet, and I would be able to tell like where all my money is going and how much money I'm making and how much money I had left at the end of the month. And this is going to be the surefire way that you're going to be able to understand where your money is going and how much money are you putting towards your business, or how much can you put towards your business. And I've actually built a simple spreadsheet tracker that you can download for free in the description down below. So go check that out if you want to see it for yourself. But the way that I approach this is I just go through the first 3 months of tracking my spending for the first time, and I figure out where all my money is going. And then from there, I can make adjustments based on what I need. If I need to spend less on entertainment, if I need to spend less on subscriptions and stuff like that. What's really powerful about this is you just simply know where your money is going. And if you want to be able to have money to spend on your creative hobby to turn it into a real business, you're going to have to allocate some of your regular income in order to afford those things like the subscriptions, the softwares that you have, the gear that you want to buy, those kinds of things. Because let's face it, we get glamorized online about what people are using for gear and people doing these unboxing videos, which by the way are really fun to do, but nobody really understands how they are actually able to afford those things and manage their money. So step one is to track your spending. And it's very simple. Just anytime that you swipe your card or you pay with cash, just write down what that transaction is, put down what category it belongs to. And then at the end of the month or end of 3 months, which is going to be the best way to give yourself a monthly average, you're going to be able to understand how much you're spending on that particular category. And if you realize that you're actually spending a lot more than what you're earning, there are 3 main categories that people spend a lot of money on, and that is going to be your housing, transportation, and food. And these areas, it's a little bit more complicated about how you can reduce your spending, except for your food. So how much you spend going out to eat, how much you spend on groceries, those kinds of things. That's really going to be the number one thing that you can spend less money on. And then for transportation, depending on where you live, you have your car payment, insurance, gas, all those types of things. Or if you live in a major city, you may use public transit. But those are the top 3 categories for personal expenditures. For a creator, I spend the majority of my money on software subscriptions. So I have Adobe, which is over $70 a month, which is crazy. I have other services like I have an email platform where I pay annually. I have the Linktree, which I pay annually. Those are hundreds of dollars each annually. So when you break it down, it's like $40 to $90 a month anywhere that I pay for some of my subscriptions. So I'm already spending a lot of money just on subscriptions alone, which is more than I would spend on something like Netflix or anything like that. And just simply tracking your expenditures that you're going to have as a person or as a business is going to better help you understand what you need in order to subsidize it, to make it keep it running. For me, I allocate $600 a month towards my creative business in order to fund it. And again, that's between subscriptions, that's between buying gear and other things. And I even sometimes pay for courses to help me learn as a creator. And once I have that budget set in place, I stick to it as best as I can. And the only way that I'm able to do that is, again, by tracking how much I'm spending. The second habit that I want to talk about is paying yourself first. Now, if you don't know what paying yourself first, basically all that means is anytime that you receive a paycheck, you take a portion of that check out and you put it towards savings for yourself. And this can be for anything: emergencies, a new car, a vacation, gear, etc. For the longest time, whenever I would get paid, I actually had it automatically set up to where my employer would split my check in between 2 accounts, my main account and then my savings account. And in that savings account, I had a set dollar amount that was put in there every single check. So that way I didn't have to see that money come into my main checking account. And that way I knew that that money is going to be saved for something else completely down the road. And I think this is where fundamentally a lot of people fall apart. More than 60% of Americans cannot come up with a $1,000 emergency expense. And so being able to pay yourself first by saving some money is already going to put you ahead of the majority of people in the United States. It doesn't matter how much money that you save. It can be $10, $25, $50, $100, but every time you receive money in your checking account, you should be automatically putting some of that money away towards savings. And the way that I like to split it up is I like to have an emergency savings for all of my regular expenses as a person. And I also like to have a separate savings, which I call a sinking fund, which is going to be to buy gear, pay for trips, pay for courses, whatever it is I'm going to do. This is going to be the most impactful thing that you're going to be able to do for yourself as a creative who works a 9-to-5 job, because at a certain point when you are wanting to leave your 9-to-5 job to go pursue this creative career full time, you're going to want to have this financial runway, which is what I like to refer to it as. Having as much cash saved up as possible is going to give you the least amount of risk going forward. Time and time again, I see a lot of people fail at being able to pay for the most simplest things because they don't have enough money saved up. As a creative, if you're looking to save up money to be able to buy a piece of gear, or maybe you want to pay for a course that somebody does that can help you learn something new, you're going to have some sort of money saved up. But at the same time, you don't want to put all your money towards that one thing, because if something on your personal side comes up as an emergency, you also have to be able to take care of that. And I think that's where a lot of people tend to fall apart. Me personally, I like to take care of all my personal things first before I put money towards my business. So that means I'm building up an emergency fund that's going to last me for 3 to 6 months of normal expenses. And this is just the baseline that I set for myself. But when it comes to leaving your 9-to-5 job to pursue your creative business full time, you actually want to be able to have more money saved up, thinking 12 to 18 months. And all this is doing is reducing the amount of risk that you're going to encounter as a person when it comes to pursuing this as a career. Because a lot of times I see people leave their 9-to-5 jobs and become a full-time creator, but then they turn around and say, well, I don't make enough money, I need to do something different, or I need to go back to work because this isn't working out. And that is completely fine. Although I will say that a lot of those people don't go out of 9-to-5 job with a plan. And so your plan should be, if you want to turn this into a business that's eventually going to replace your 9-to-5 job, is you need to understand that tracking your spending is going to be the number one powerful thing. But then the second most powerful thing is going to be saving your money as much as you can, and even, spending as least as you can on your business in the beginning, because the more money that you're able to save up front, the more money you're going to have for yourself to invest in your business in the future. And like with, if you're trying to lose weight, there's a calorie deficit. In this case, it's literally a spending deficit that you're trying to accomplish, because if you make $3,000 a month and you spend $3,000 a month, you have absolutely nothing left over to invest in yourself as a creative. But if you make $3,000 a month and you only spend $1,500 a month, then in theory, you have $1,500 to put towards whatever it is that you want. It could be saving for your future. It could be saving for your creative business. It doesn't matter. You might be thinking, well, I don't make $3,000 a month. I don't only spend $1,500 a month. Everything's expensive. I get that. It doesn't matter what the number is. All that matters is if you have a deficit of spending, you're going to save more money to put towards the things that you want to put towards. So if you do a daily Starbucks run before you go to your job, maybe take a look at that after you spend money on it for the next 3 months using the tracker in the description down below, and realize that maybe I can spend a little bit less on this area right now and go invest that into my creative business and just make coffee at home. Because honestly, it's really not that bad when you make your coffee at home. And plus, I just drink black coffee, so why am I going to go spend money somewhere else to have somebody else make it for me? And just to give you a little bit of perspective, at our peak, my wife and I were able to save over $3,500 a month towards retirement, short and midterm goals. And it got to the point where I'm able to retire at the age of 60 without having to contribute any more money to my retirement accounts. And I just turned 32 this past weekend. And that is a term that is called Coast Fire, which I'm not going to go into that in this video because it's a little bit more complicated, a little bit more complex. we really set ourselves up for success in that regard because we were tracking our spending and because we were saving first, spending second. And we use a different platform for tracking our spending than the spreadsheet in the description down below. It is called Monarch. This is not a sponsored video by any means, but I will have a referral link down there if you want to try it out for free. And basically all Monarch is an aggregate company. They bring all of your information into a platform where you can see all your transactions, you can see your budgets, you can see your goals, etc. It's a really nice intuitive platform that I've been using for the last couple of years. There are free ones out there. The one free one that I know that still exists is called Personal Capital, which I don't know if they changed their name or not. They probably did. But those are different softwares that you can use to help track your spending. You just log into your bank information on that platform and it will track every single expense that you have. And it'll also track every dollar that you earn. It does take time out of your day. Like you have to be able to maintain your finances because you can't just go out and create a business like this and then think that, oh, it's going to take care of itself. No, for the first few years of it, you're likely going to have to subsidize your business with your own regular income. Find out what it is that you're spending your money on and then say, okay, well, I'm spending way too much money in this area and I actually spend more money than I earn. So we need to make some lifestyle choices and changes because I want to be able to invest all of this money into this business and I can't do that at this current rate. And that's why I'm able to spend money on stuff like this camera. I'm able to pay for a much larger camera, a much more expensive camera. I'm able to upgrade my computer when it comes time is because I set aside money for those kinds of things. And this is not to be a flex by any means. It's simply because I took the years out of my life to learn how to manage my money. And I'm trying to be able to share that information with you so it doesn't take you nearly as long. And so if you found value out of this video so far, please leave a like down below. And if you want to see more videos like this, or you want to see my regular content, which is typically tech stuff and photography stuff, drop a subscribe down below because I am definitely on my way to building this channel up a lot and any support that you give me is appreciated. I do want to dive into a little bit more details on the spending aspect and the saving aspect. So if you made it this far, thank you. If you got enough information out of what I've already told you in the beginning and you cut out now, no hard feelings. But when it comes to starting out and being new to personal finance and even business finance, if you really want to think about it that way, just being able to see where your money is going and where it's coming from is powerful. And this is going to be something that you learn now. And then as you get more successful in your business, you're going to be able to do it without stressing out and potentially without having to hire out to somebody else to do it for you. Because I still file my own taxes and I'm to the point now where I'm going to hire a CPA to do my taxes for me because outside of the creative business, I have real estate investments, I have regular investments, there are different things that play in that make it a little bit more complicated. So at a certain point, it becomes almost necessary to just hire it out to somebody else to save yourself the time. So just getting away from the fundamentals of this, just giving you an example of why I think this is important. A while back, I made a video on social media where I was having a conversation with my client about how I don't charge money for photo shoots. And it's not that I never charge money for photo shoots. It's just if I'm approaching somebody, I offer to do the photo shoots for free. If somebody approaches me, it depends. If somebody is, giving me the opportunity to shoot a car I've never shot before, or give me an experience I've never had before, I'm likely going to do that for free because I want to have that experience or I want to have that in my portfolio. And there are other situations where I will tell people, hey, I'm going to charge you this amount of money. And sometimes if I do one for free, the second time around, I won't do it for free. But that doesn't matter. What matters is in that video, I got a lot of negative traction and there was a creator that I've actually seen their work before and I thought it was great work. They came out and said that for the longest time that they were a starving artist, or they still are, I don't know. And they always struggled to put food on the table. And people like me were ruining the creative business. Now, because I'm who I am and I love money and I want to figure out why this person might be in this situation, I went to the profile. And what I noticed is in the last 6 months, 6 or 8 months, they had posted a video that they left their job to pursue this content creation full time. And that job that they had was in the medical field. And I can only imagine it being over 6 figures because the type of role that they said that they did in there was a job that I believe earned that much money. And I don't know that person's personal situation, but my wife works in the medical field. I work in the IT field and we make great money. And if I'm going to make that jump from being a full-time worker to a full-time creator, personally, I know that I'm going to have my financial runway set up to be at minimum 12 months worth of expenses. Because if something were to screw up, if the business doesn't work out the way I want it to, and I need to go get a job, I have that much time to go get a new job and act like nothing happened. And that's the whole point behind this video, is to teach you the fundamentals of tracking your spending and saving first before you go and spend your money. Because I don't want you, and I don't want that person either, to starve in order to make a living, you know? So that is why I want to make this kind of video, because personal finance is personal. But when it comes to building a business in public, nobody that I have seen talks about what it's like to actually manage the money in the background. Because I could talk all day about money, and I can talk all day about how it personally impacts me and my family on like retirement and investments and stuff like that. But I want to take that and bridge it over to what it takes for a creative like myself and for you to be able to run a successful business and never having to rely on another source of income again. And when I say that, I mean your 9-to-5 job. So if you want to be able to jump from your 9-to-5 work to being a content creator full time, you just really need to learn how to manage your money. And I don't think a lot of people talk about that. And this part of the video is really just going to end up being my soapbox. I just want you to know that I have no script on this. Okay. I have a couple bullet points that I tried following, and honestly, it's just crap. I don't like it. So I like to just ramble about money because I'm very passionate about it. Like I am passionate about cars, tech, photography, stuff like that. And I grew up in a fairly modest family, middle income family. Like we didn't really have to worry about money. And my mom was able to be a stay-at-home mom while my dad worked full time. Now in 2008, when the financial crash happened, we had to tighten our belts a lot more than we already did. So I already come from a family of being modest and wearing cheap clothes. I wore hand-me-downs for the longest time, by the way, and always drove a used car, those kinds of things. Where my wife came from a different background where they had less opportunity than my family did. So it does help for us to understand like what it's like to not have the money to do things, whether it's by choice or not. And so when I talk about, building wealth and saving for the business that you want to do, I'm talking about it from experience because I'm currently living that experience because I haven't left my 9-to-5 job. And the money that I save personally is for my own personal emergencies. And in the last 2 houses that we've lived in, we've covered a handful of emergencies with cash. I'm happy to say that the family car we bought, our 2023 4Runner, we bought with cash brand new. And the only reason why we're able to do those types of things is because of these 2 habits. And I'm not saying that you start doing it today and 3 months from now you're going to be able to go buy yourself a brand new car, but it takes years of dedication and discipline to actually learn the fundamentals of personal finance and to use it to your advantage and to be able to accomplish those things. Now, if you are a high income earner, you can accelerate this and jump from your 9-to-5 to your full-time content creation business sooner, like the person who left the medical field or like myself in the IT field. If I want to leave my job sooner, me having a higher income and learning these fundamentals will benefit me more because maybe my timeline goes from 5 years to 2 years just simply because of how much money one person earns, So if you earn $2,000 a month, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month, it doesn't matter. These fundamentals are going to help you shape your core foundation as a person when it comes to money, and it's going to shape your business and how successful it is, because in the future, if you need to buy a brand new camera, a brand new computer, maybe you need to hire somebody to help you out, you're going to be able to manage that easily because you're going to understand how money works, which is a very big problem for people, is understanding how money works. So I want to break that taboo because my family never talked about money. My parents never taught me anything about personal finance, and that's not a knock on them. That is simply saying that is the reality that we live in, because schools never taught you how to manage money. Other adults never taught you how to manage money. If you wanted to learn how to manage money, you had to go pay an advisor, but now you don't have to. You can learn pretty much everything online, and you can also learn from other people's experiences like my own or somebody else's, and you can just apply that to your own. And so in this video, I hope that you got some sort of value out of it. The spending tracker is going to be in the description down below. This is going to be the best thing for you to just get started. You don't need to do anything fancy. I've already laid it out for you and given you instructions on how to use it. Just go and download it, use it for the first time. I am not legally allowed to give financial advice. This is all just informational and it's all just for entertainment. So I'm just saying that now, which I probably should have said that earlier in the video, but here we are. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.